Okay, everybody, my next guest is a hilarious comedian and actor who may be best known for his work in such films like the classic horror movie Scream and the iconic Malibu's Most Wanted. He has a podcast, World's on Fire, and has been taken off as he talks about all the crazy, hard-hitting subjects that face our culture today. Here he is, folks, the great Jamie Kennedy. Jamie, how you doing, man? This is awesome to have you on, man.
Dude, what's up, John? Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, this is awesome. So I wanted to talk to you about so much stuff, man. I've been following you on Instagram and all that, and I saw that you were recently like kind of getting canceled off TikTok anyway. Not the whole canceled culture, but what happened with TikTok?
Dude, your guess is as good as mine, but my assessment is this: is that TikTok is an app from China. It is a communist country, and it is basically an AI-run app. And you know, whatever you want to say, it's probably China is ahead of us in a lot of AI stuff. Whether as far as America is, they're very much ahead of us, I think, in a couple years. And basically, if you're following what's going on in China, even if you're near somebody with COVID, they will lock you in your apartment, whether you have food or not. And now they have drones going outside the window, like some fucking insane Orwellian dystopia.
The United Nations recently concluded that China may have committed crimes against humanity there. Instead of ending its crackdown, Beijing is now doubling down.
And like, you can't leave, and this COVID zero policy. So that COVID zero communist policy has come over across many ways, and one of it is TikTok.
TikTok collects a lot of data. It tracks account information, search history, any content created through the platform, along with users' locations and behavioral information.
So TikTok, they're taking things that are jokes, and I'm assuming it's AI being surveilled, and they're going, oh, this is non-inclusive, or you have a strike, you have a strike, you have a strike. So it's, the good news is it's not just me. There are very benign accounts with strikes.
Jeez.
The bad news is I don't know if I'll last much longer. Like I literally put up scenes from movies I've been in, like studio movies. They don't approve of that. I've literally put up jokes that have been on TV. They don't approve of that, or opinions. So it's like, fuck you.
Fuck you.
But the problem is that people are like, oh, that's over there. That's over there. Yeah, you know what else was over there? The fucking Rona. Okay.
Exactly.
So every dumb person in America is drinking White Claw and like, oh, it's fine. So it's like, you do you, I'll do me, and let's see where we both end up. But it's like, that is me getting canceled or not. I'm not canceled yet, but me. My growth was great, and then just like that, like there's an example of our future. You're doing great, and then all of a sudden they just cut your balls off.
Yeah, that's crazy,
So,
man.
That's a scary proposition for being able to make a living.
For sure, dude. And like you said, it's, you know, TikTok, we all know is you know, Chinese, and who knows what the hell the bots are doing, or what they're trying to feed us, or how what kind of data they're getting from us and our kids and all that kind of stuff.
Through the control of the algorithm, China is able to influence American public opinion.
But it makes you wonder about all social media. You know what I mean? Like is anything safe these days? It's kind of crazy, man, because I feel like everything starts with good intentions and then gets all corrupted and controlled, and they play with your brain, you know?
It's totally fucked. There's a total article about how TikTok actually is bad for your brain. Like, I consider, and I love it, man. I love it, but it's a cigarette. There's some article you could look it up where it actually messes with one of your lobes, like by watching it, and how you're completely addicted and engrossed in.
This is your brain, and this is your brain after spending just 10 minutes watching TikToks. And that's not a mistake.
Listen, there's a lot of good recipes on there. There's a lot of great funny comedians on there. There's a lot of TNA on there. But what's insane to me, is that it's actually scary and depressing, dude. Like, you're gonna censor a joke, okay, that I'm doing at a club that I will do tonight for a sold out show, okay, at the Laugh Factory in Reno, right? But yet you have violence, you have basically pornography, and you keep feeding that algorithm. So if you click on one butt, you're basically going to get inundated with butts. And some of the, I mean, listen, I love butt, like all like butt, but the problem is, I can't believe that none of these butts have the strikes I have. And it's basically a gynecological exam. But then the violence or the violence and the accidents, there are people with fucking terrible car accidents. It's like, dude, Faces of Death. You know what that is.
Oh,
That was a taboo movie that we could rent at the local video store. It was a very taboo movie to get, but you get it. And it was basically people dying on camera.
Yeah.
If you have never thought about death, it's time you started thinking. Faces of Death. Now a major motion picture.
I feel like, dude, this poor rapper that was killed the other day in LA.
Oh yeah, that dude.
His was on there. People being shot for home invasions. I can't believe it,
dude. Like you said, back in the
shit.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like back in the day with that Faces of Death, dude. That was one of those things you had to rent. You had to be like, know somebody to get it. Your hands on it. You kind of watched it, and then the worst thing it had on there. I remember the guy getting electrocuted. On the
Guy
wire.
Jumped off a building. That was a bad one.
Yeah, that one, and then the monkey. Remember the monkey?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, I don't even want to say it, but it's like that is Disney Plus compared to what we're fucking seeing, dude. And me, I'm America's. If you were to look at me, like I'm everyone's neighbor. People, when they see me, they don't go, "There's Jamie Kennedy." They go, "Hey, what's up, Jamie?" Like. They're cool with me. They know I'm famous, and they're like high five me. They're not like intimidated by me, but I'm like something they recognize. So if I am considered whatever this is, can you imagine the edgier creators or, it's just forget it. Like, forget it.
That is what's crazy though, dude, is that we're in this weird time where certain things get promoted and almost praised, and like you said, like the pornography stuff, like Cardi B or what have you, that kind of stuff. Oh, she's so brave, but then if you do something actually brave, like like stand up for yourself or say your thoughts and ideas, and if they don't agree with it, dude, they're gonna shut you down, and it's nuts.
It's such a deeper conversation, but in the simplest way is that it's like MySpace was the shit. I wish Tom was back. Like, it was the Wild West, and look, it gave us, Dane was brilliantly ahead of his time and said, "Okay, I know how to get to my fans more than ever," and he blew up off of it, and he paved the way for social media.
Yeah,
And so a lot of people then started using it, chefs and fitness gurus and all this stuff. But then where basically these platforms aren't fair. And if they don't like what you're saying, our opinions that go against popular belief that could either fuck people's money up or consider dissension, that's our job, dude. We are comedians. We are poke holes in bullshit. And if
Right.
they want us to shut up, then it's gonna be war, and it's up to us. But I don't, we have to figure out how to keep being those geysers that spring up, and leaks in the pipe,
Comedians are always the voice, always the truth tellers, from Lenny Bruce on, and kind of calling us out and holding the mirror up and to society and going, look at yourselves and all that. Now I feel like there's some comics drinking the Kool-Aid and playing by the rules and not challenging the status quo. And I think there's like legit a handful of like famous comics like such as yourself who are kind of holding that torch and calling out, just calling out a spade for a spade, like, what I mean? Like, look, hey, pot, meet the kettle, like, what I mean? Like, you're just calling it as you see it. You're not really taking a side, like right wing or left wing. You're kind of just calling out common sense. But even that now can get you in trouble.
Dude, it is. But like, what's crazy is you're right. Like, there are and if you're making money as a comedian and stuff, and I am not the police of any of that. Like, God bless you. Like, you got to do that if you don't want to mess your money up. I get it. But like, censoring what we believe is the truth, and clearly there is a version of this truth. Like, people don't want to accept certain things, whether it's, I don't even know what I'm allowed to say here, like the health initiative that's gone on the last 2 years, or
Right.
what's considered a joke and what's considered hate speech and all these different things. Like, if our own community is starting to cannibalize each other, I mean, fuck, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. But the only thing is, it's just you see who you roll with and who you like, and it's common sense. There's a lot of good common sense comedians out there.
I think, we need those common sense comics more than ever, and you always wonder what would like Carlin or Bill Hicks or one of those guys, where would they stand today if they were around? What would they have to say about this kind of thing? But no, I mean, listening to you on some of your Instagram stuff, and you're out your window, there's gunshots in LA, and then you tell me about that a little bit. What happened in LA, man? Right outside your building?
Dude, I literally was shook. Thank you for watching all this stuff.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know, like, if I'm old or I don't know. Like, I've been in LA, for over 30 years. And when I came out to LA in the late 80s, there was the freeway shootings, and that was a little crazy. And then when I was on the open mic circuit, I'll never forget, there was a guy that shot at another guy in front of Rock and Roll Ralph's on Sunset. And that was like in 1991, and that was like crazy. But like, that was it. Like, very, very rare, and gang.
Right, yeah.
But I do feel the violence is crazier than ever. So I was at home the other night, I was making a steak, and I sold my house, and now I'm renting I have my office, and then the real estate market's going down, so I'm gonna wait to jump back in. But those prices were just too high, and I'm like, this is gonna. So I'm like, I made a little money, right? And so I'm like in this cool little village, and it's nice. And fucking outside of it, I heard pop, 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 like a machine gun, like right in Hollywood by Sunset.
Damn.
And then I look out, I saw a dude on a bird like run. I saw another dude on a bird, and I missed the car. I saw the tail end of people running, and then I heard pop, 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 pop. And then like 3 blocks away, like an hour later, there was a reported shooting. So I'm assuming it had to do with that. Apparently, these guys randomly stole a Bentley in Beverly Hills, joyrided it, shooting out the window. Maybe it was they killed somebody, they targeted, or maybe it was random. I have no idea. It was all blocked off, like a big part, like blocks. And look, we all have violence. We see violence everywhere. But I just feel like I drive down Melrose. Some of my favorite shops are closed, and I just feel like, would I walk down Melrose at midnight like I used to? I don't know. And that's weird for me. That's sad, dude. It gets me sad. One of my favorite restaurants, Ago, is being torn down. There's tons of sneaker shops you'd like gone, and people can say, "Oh, we're getting back," but we are, but we're not. And I see it. I see the constriction. I see the consolidation. I see Starbucks not allowing people to go in. It's delivery only. And this wonderful place called California Chicken Cafe, one of my favorite places where you'd go to the gym and you'd go eat a half a chicken, or you'd go to a good audition. Completely takeout now. You cannot go in. And so
Wow.
this is all on Melrose, which is like the foot traffic part of LA. And there's been like, you know, what I posted something a couple weeks ago, what happened in Queens.
Yeah, yeah. That's
They
shooting
did that
too.
in Melrose too, but like in Queens, people are literally just having a sandwich. And Queens, like I've sat in Queens in a cafe mall, guys like, yo, give me that and give me that. And the good thing is no one was shot, and it was a broad daylight robbery. This is unprecedented, dude. This is fourth world country shit.
Dude, it's
And
crazy.
so and people don't want to talk about it. So it's like, go live in your bubble, man. And you know what? I'll be over here. But I can't even, it's weird. It's hard for me sometimes to promote like funny shit, because it's like the world is, I'm like, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like it's the world's everywhere. So I posted that, and then a lot of people hit me back. Oh yeah, Boston's crazy. New Orleans is crazy. And listen, we've all know we go to different places. We all know
Yeah.
New York City has always been New York City.
Right.
But
right.
everybody says it's a notch up now.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, people now, you know, rerouting how they get to work and things like that, and you know, like you said, the bubble's getting smaller and smaller, and you also, if you do speak out against these things, you know what I mean, you're the bad guy, you know, and it's very strange here in New York as well. I'm on Long Island, not too far from Queens, and you know, we see our fair share. You know, it just feels like the Wild West, man. Like you know, people, you know, walking around, and you know, you don't know what's coming next.
Crazier than it's ever been.
I think so. I mean, you know, like again, I'm in Long Island. I don't know if you how familiar you are with Long Island. I'm out here, you know, Governor's Comedy Club and all that,
Off the LIE.
yeah, man, yeah, because you're a Philly dude, right? So you're not too
Yeah.
far. You're like a hop skip from us, like 3 hours. But yeah, man, and it was always crazy, and we're always kind of, you know, rough, especially like in Queens area and certain areas of the island and Manhattan. But I feel like there's a certain more freedom now for crime because of they have the no cash bail laws. I think they have them there too, right? In LA, where you can do a crime, go in there, and you're out in a couple hours. You don't have to worry about paying bail. And so
Oh yeah.
yeah, so then they're back out on the street. So there's, you know, it just feels, you know, they're just coming around full circle. Some people on Long Island, there was one where a person committed 3 crimes in one day and got arrested 3 times, and he just kept getting out and doing another one, to get out again, do another one.
Dude, the fact that we're talking about it, meaning it's hit our community. This is not what we do. You know what I mean? I like want to make TV shows and go on tour. You know, you want to do pods and go on tour. The fact that we're sitting out here having to be fucking deputies is insane. And it's like, we're health administrators. We're like, what the fuck? I'm like, so it, like, in a weird way, I live in this split personality. Like, I'm out here in Reno right now, man, and
Nice.
you know, fuck, the people are. First of all, there's fires out here, which is wild. The smoke is because there's a big fire, and so the smoke is crazy. But people are coming out, like they want to escape the smoke, and so come to a smoky casino, and the people are just like desperate to laugh, and I want to give them the jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if I have a heckler, I don't even fuck with them that bad. I have fun with them because I want everybody to get their money's worth.
Right.
So like in one part of my society, I'm like, please, I'm like helping people cope.
Right.
And then the other part, I'm exposing it and I'm going, this is fucking insane. And it's only other people. It's Russell Brand, it's Joe Rogan, it's Jim Brewer, you know, it's all these other people. But I'm like, yeah, why are we like
the voices, yeah.
Yeah, like we're supposed to be you're funny, and but that's the way it is. That's what comedy is, and that's what good comedy should be. And as you know, George Carlin goes viral once a week now for stuff he said 30 years ago that he's still ahead of the curve of.
Yeah, man, exactly, man.
And
And
Dick Gregory.
yep. And those are the guys, man, the forefathers of like the truth telling type style comedy there, and I think that's the reason why people turn towards comedians for the truth. And that's why guys like you, like Rogan, Brewer, and all of them, people are listening because they have the balls to say what they would like to say, but are afraid to say it for whatever reason, or don't know how to say it. And then also to say it like the truth is said in jest, and to be able to kind of say it in a way where people could laugh at it, because how it works. First they laugh at it, then they laugh with it, then it laughs at you. So if you could twist it around that way, yeah.
That's really good. I said who said that?
I actually, a long time ago, I was told that by a Marine. So it's
Dude.
like, yeah.
This is what I say when I go on stage. I ingratiate myself, self-deprecate myself. So then so then they're on my side. Then I entertain them. Then I make them laugh. And then by the end, I'm giving them my ideas, and then I make them think.
Yeah.
And so, and that's a lot to do in 35 minutes. But like, it's true, dude. Like, you're so right. Like, first they laugh at it, then they laugh with it, then it laughs at you. Like, dude, there are jokes I'm thinking I've been doing that are literally coming true. Like, there's I do this whole gender joke now, which I'm like, be whatever you want, but literally, like, the joke was people would identify as cats. That's real. That's actually coming real.
Yeah.
And which again is fine. But the fact that if we joke about it, we're fucking the Antichrist.
Yeah.
So there was like, no one has any memory of a baseline of normality. Like, they're like, yo, this was what it was. So that's what gets me. It's like, yo, this used to be like this. Do you remember that? And people are like, how dare you?
Yeah, we don't want to go back to it. It does feel like, in a way, the inmates are running the asylum. Kind of, it's like, completely reversed, where authority is the bad guys and everybody else are the good guys. And it's just it's look, man, I
No, it's not even that. It's that if you're not open to anything,
right, yeah,
you are hateful.
yep. It's crazy.
And everything is, well, that's like, I mean, I don't want to fucking take a turn here, but that's what this new movement's going with fucking pedophilia.
Oh yeah, I know, man.
They're not trying to be called pedophilias anymore. They're trying to be called MAPs, minor attracted persons, because they don't want to be vilified.
Yeah, we got to worry about their feelings, the pedos' feelings now.
I didn't kill that person. I was a life exterminating person. I mean, I'm not a murderer. Like, right. dude, if everything's okay, then nothing's wrong. So there's no baseline anymore for fucking anything.
And that's what's scary, dude. It is like Armageddon. It's nuts.
Right? That's what and so that's when I'm like, yo, here's our baseline. But there's this new accept me as anything culture. So it's like, okay, so I'll put my fist up my ass, shake your hand, and that's the new greeting. Is that okay? I mean, where the fuck are we at? But yet, if you look at a woman the wrong way to Kinko's, you're a fucking creep. I mean, where?
Yeah, where it's all blurry.
What's up.
Yeah. I think you were right. Like, you said some stuff in one of your gram posts, but it was kind of teetering about the Great Reset and the plans. Like, it feels like there is some kind of, it feels like a movie. It feels like we're in a weird sci-fi movie, and there's like a diabolical guy who wants to rule the world. But that's what it actually seems is happening sometimes, and oftentimes too. I wonder, am I being brainwashed somehow to believe this, or what's the truth anymore? I don't even know it's real anymore.
It's pretty simple in my opinion. It's just what's sad is the people that fight against us, where it's like, dude, you're with us here. It's like you're not going to benefit from this bullshit. So you
Right.
have to like. It's just basically, in my opinion, like, you know how I say it, with so people don't freak out. It's just X amount of rich. It's simple. The world is completely connected, which it's never been, through the internet. And by that, you can make a lot of money, and you can do a lot of commerce, and you can deliver a lot of messaging. Okay. We just never had that before. We're fragmented. And so, you know, there's a very handful of people in power that have it, and they want to keep the power, and they know that the jig is going to be up. Like, everyone's going to figure out, like, yo, they want all the money. They don't need work. There's going to be less jobs. Anything talked about job growth is complete bullshit. Automation is every day. There was the food delivery bot in a thing. I don't know if you saw. There was a crime at Hollywood High, and a food delivery bot went right through the crime scene. It was kind of like crazy, and it just kept going, delivering someone's fucking Chipotle right through a crime scene. And the cops were just like, okay. And so there's going to be way more automation. There's going to be less need for human beings. Human beings aren't going to accept it. Some people are going to go to drugs. Some people are going to go to crime. There's going to be a lot of displaced human beings. That's why Malibu and Hawaii and all these and New Zealand is all being bought up for people to build up their fiefdoms. And it's going to be chaos. And I think that they also want chaos to keep. It's not a conspiracy. It's simple. It's like, keep all this crazy shit going over here while we're heisting and planning this shit. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
Technology. If you have the ability to save $1 billion a year with paying workers, they're going to do it. They're not going to be like, oh, let's just keep this worker here till the end of time.
Yeah,
we completely are an evolving greedy species.
Yep.
And so that's what's happening. So it's like, football is exciting. Watch that over here. Ooh, housewives are fighting. That's over here. So it's distract while they deploy. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, man. And I think, dude, I think you're right on it. I definitely think, you know, and I think there's a lot of us that actually are seeing things for what they are, and not blinded by it. And I don't know, like, I don't know, you know, why some of us are able to see clearly through the BS and some aren't. And I don't know if it, again, has something to do with, you know, the comedy mind is always kind of out thinking, always kind of a couple steps ahead, and maybe and could see the bullshit. So I don't know if that's a part of it or what, but I just feel like there's only a handful of people that are really seeing what's going on. Everybody else is either ignoring it, or, like you said, they're distracted with TikTok and all that other stuff, or they're distracted by hating their neighbor because he has a Trump sign, or what it is.
Yeah, I think that the normal person, there are a lot of people seeing it, but there's also a lot of people that are just caught up in the day-to-day life and struggle. So I understand that. But like, in terms of like comedians, there are comedians that will say other comedians are crazy, or celebrities that call this person. But I always wonder, why are you so against somebody calling out something that's kind of common sense? And that makes me think they're white knighting it, and they're trying to look like cool for their friends because they don't really want to be shunned.
Right.
And I think that people like I don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to go where the real truth is. I don't give a fuck. If I lose friends over it, that's okay. I don't want those friends anyway. And I think there's a lot of peer pressure for people. But I think if you get them one-on-one, I think that they will have a clearer mind than they care to admit.
Yeah, I think some people even one-on-one are kind of will still be hesitant. You have to you have to really, before they finally could admit it. Like it's
hard. They're so indoctrinated to, like, you know, I always say it's like the people that like fight these things are the same people that, you know, took the vax right away, didn't question it, doesn't understand that big pharma is responsible for 75% of the advertising on TV, or the same people that college, you know, they went to college and acquired debt. Like, they believed in the system. There's no way, because if they have to go that, maybe it's because they have to question everything. Well, at a young age, I had a lot of shit happen to me, so I always thought the system was fucked. So maybe I'm lucky.
Right. Yeah. You're also an East Coast dude, or you know, Philly guy. So yeah.
I agree. Yeah. We're always kind of getting a little slapped around. And
like,
what did I do?
I also like, do you think that today, and it's not that long ago when you did Malibu's Most Wanted, do you think you could do a movie like that now? Do you think a movie like that now would resonate, or would they say, it's race appropriation and this and that and the other? I mean, there's seems to be more actual white rappers out there today, but do you think the kind of movie you did, what do you think about it?
I think that I did give birth to a lot of these guys, and what I again did as a joke has again come into reality. You know what I mean? Like that was a joke, but it's actually real. Just like oh God, Mike Judge, Idiocracy. It's
Right,
literally
yeah.
becoming a documentary, and I think that no, I wouldn't be able to make it today, even though you should be able to, but it's not appropriation, it's appreciation.
Right,
And
exactly. Yeah.
it flips stereotypes on their heads. But no, there's always going to be too many dissenters, you know, and the problem is that big media, why I think it's losing its luster, although it's still huge. The Emmys were the lowest rated it's ever been, and it's because they cave to the voice of a few that sound like many. And so if you stand your ground, you know, that's why I love Netflix. You can call them woke or whatever, but they stand behind Chappelle and, you know, our potential, you know, the greatest that may ever done it, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
our right now our Mount Rushmore of comedy, and they stand. So that was a huge stand by them,
That was
and
huge.
because every other corporation's cave. So it could be made. The people would love it, and I think if people hit them in the went to the box office, then they would shut up. But the problem is getting it there. There's too many people that are scared to take these risks now. It's dude. When's the last time I was in the movie? I was in the movie like 2 weeks ago. I haven't gone for a while, and I saw the 45-year-old movie Jaws in 3D,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and I saw the trailer for a comedy, the only comedy I saw. And listen, I like them both, man. With George Clooney and Julia Roberts and some rom-com, some woke ass rom-com. And here was our voice of comedy. I love them both. George Clooney and Julia Roberts is the cutting edge of comedy in the movies at 2022.
Yeah. Nothing better than two, 6-year-old, good-looking 6-year-olds out
Yeah.
there, and they
Bro,
are,
I see no other comedies.
yeah,
No other comedies.
dude.
I'm like, hold on. This was approved by the establishment. I mean, I'm like, look, I'm all for fucking escapism, but like, yo, if you're gonna make that movie, you gotta make a raunchy comedy. You gotta make a non-PC comedy, and that's what's not happening.
And that's where the studios get scared. And but I think too that once whichever studio it is, or if some independent filmmaker cracks through with an actually funny movie, with that's really hilarious, like another Hangover or something like that, then that's going to go through the roof. And then the studios will see this, where the success is and where the failure is, and then maybe start pivoting back to normal and stop listening to the small group, because they like, dude, I don't know if you've seen many woke stand-up acts, but I've seen a few here in New York, and they're never funny.
Oh, you have them in New York?
Yeah.
Wait, Brooklyn? You have some? I've never.
No,
bro, they're not. They're
yeah.
not fucking. It's activism, dude.
Yeah.
It's preachism. It's preachism.
Yeah, that's all it is. And it's, or they just, make jokes about the same old stuff, like, Trump and all that kind of thing. But it's not, there's nothing creative about it. The it's not funny. I think that those comics are more angry than funny, and preachy. And that's, that's never funny. I think funny is when you go against the grain. I think funny is if you like punk rock kind of thing, like, go against the grain, say some pro-Trump jokes and see what happens. Not that I'm my beliefs aside, if you do some pro-Trump stuff or whatever, then you could say you're brave. You're not brave if
I
you just
agree.
say how much he sucks or whatever, that you know.
Mhm.
So and you know, watching your stuff, man, the Heckler, I feel like you were right on the cusp of when you made Heckler, that documentary, which is awesome. I feel like you were right on the cusp of this wokeness. Like like just watching it back, it just felt like damn, man, it's cool to watch those things because it's like a time capsule of sorts of, you know, about 10, 15 years ago, whenever you made that. And now you watch it now and you feel like, oh shit, this is right at the beginning, because you hear like, you know, kind of the thoughts about hecklers, and you got, you know, Rogan in there. You got, you know, you also have what's his name, politically incorrect, I can't think of his name, Bill Maher's in there. So you got a lot of
Mhm.
good voices of the times in there. And did you think at that time when you were doing that, did you feel like would you able to foresee American comedy becoming what it has today?
Um, I have been lucky. I have been premature, which isn't always a good thing with certain stuff. You know, like, from my show, The Experiment, and
Yeah, great show.
and Heckler and different things where like I've been a little bit early with the trend. Um, what was happening during that time was blog.com, where and Amazon was the feedback button and IMDb comment button. So, you just usually watched a movie and someone reviewed it and that was it. And it was usually a review about the movie. It was never a review about the person or their life choices or the career and all this stuff. And then, like, so a reviewer was professional, but during that time, reviewers started getting less professional. And then the idea of the home, a lot of people don't understand this home review, this homegrown review just never existed.
Right, yeah.
And not just for people, but like toasters. Like, you bought a toaster, that was it. You go on an Amazon and be like, this toaster sucks balls, and the toaster's like, what did I do? Like, it's like, it's like, don't ever let it toast. It's like, so that's when it really hit me. I was like, this is insane. Like, these people are gonna like fuck my life up here. So I was so just happened, the perfect moment of me becoming big and this happening at the same time. And so I had to investigate it. Did I know the world was going to get more critical? Yes. Did I know it was on a downward spiral? Yes. Did um did I get a lot of peace from doing it? Yeah, because I met a lot of people that basically are not they're just kind of hate to get clicks. There's some good constructive criticism in there, but also to find a lot of the people that I really respected also encountered it made me feel better. But did I know that the phrase "it was just a joke" might actually become extinct soon? No, I didn't know that comedy would be so vilified, and which is great because it makes people love it who love it more. But basically, the way the world is now with social media proves what a form of intelligence humor is, like one of the 7 forms of intelligence, they say, and how many people really just don't have it, and how disrespected it is because people think they do, but they really can't break down the joke. How many people really will not get offended pretty much about anything, and say, hey,
Yeah.
you can joke about anything. If it's a good joke, I'll laugh, right? But like, if you mess it up, I'm not gonna kill you for trying it. It's just like you swung and you missed. That's what comedy is. And so I did not know that social media was basically going to expose how many humorless people are on this earth, and there's a lot.
Dude, I think you kind of nailed it with going how you set it all up, how you went all the way back to those online reviews, because that kind of
Mhm.
set it up for everybody being you know, so insulted and having this thin skin where, you know, where they're offended so easily. And I think that what led to where we are now. It all goes back to those online reviews. It's so brilliant that you just the timeline of that. It's so true, dude. That's what
And-
opened up
and-
the voice of these people. Yeah.
dude, and the fact that their opinion matters so much. Like their opinion really matters. What they thought of last night's episode of, fucking, Hell's Kitchen. Like it really matters. Like, and that's what's crazy. So it's like empowering. It's like we would never do that. You would never let me. I guess I can comment on the service I get at Jiffy Lube, but I could never comment on the Fram auto filter you put in unless I was a professional mechanic. It's a specialized skill. But that's the issue, is that everyone now thinks they're masters of so many things they're not. And it goes with comedy too. Like comedy, Mark Lana said it brilliantly, man. He was, one of the owners in the Improv with Bud. He was would always push the Academy to have a separate category for comedy because he completely overlooked. And it's true, like a great comedic performance can be harder than a great dramatic performance.
Yeah, for sure.
But like it said in the movie, comedy it's so disrespectful that the way people think that they're funny. Or I saw a clip, I'm not going to say what, but I saw this clip of a very popular, it's a very popular platform, and I do like a lot of stuff they do, but they encouraged people to think they're funnier than they are, the general person, and how they were saying, like, this whole clip was about whether they were, how they're so lucky, they're so, not everybody can be like them, but it's funny for like their office,
right, yeah.
And so, but their office, there's a lot more people that have an office. So what's fucked up is they're going to get more validation because there's a lot more people in the office and a lot more people going to a Tony Roma's and doing an open mic in the back, right?
Right.
So it's like, to me, comedy is the people that do that,
Right,
and really grind it out. And I guess what I was saying is it's just so disrespectful to the art form of comedy and what real comedy is in terms of like the pain. But yet people are up there going, I'm a comedy creator and I'm not a police because I don't give a fuck. You got 2 million viewers, you're making a living, do it.
Right.
But please, like, just know your goddamn elders, please.
Yeah, they have to know, man. I think it's important. I know, like in rap music, it's important for rappers to know their history. I think comics should be the same thing. You should know your history. But dude, we had these YouTube comics or whatever, these TikTok guys. They come to the club every once in a while, and
they'll sell 5 shows on a Monday. And
yeah.
And I respect it.
But that's when you see, to your point, that's when you see, like, okay, here you go, guys. You got 2 million views on your last thing you did, but now on stage you're bombing like I've never seen. You're worse than an open micer. It's like, these guys just don't got it. They don't have it when they're on stage, man. And they don't, because they didn't respect the art form. They didn't take the time to even put an act together. Some of them,
Yeah, and listen, if you sell the tickets and your crowd loves you no matter what, and they're happy, that's fine. It's none of my business. But don't say it's the same as like a person who's been grinding for 8 years at bar shows in Davenport, Iowa, and and really crafted a joke. And I'm not trying to be like, listen, I've done a lot in my career, and you might have seen me in movies. When I headlined my first show, I maybe had 20 minutes. Maybe, and I would bring greater middlers to pump up the show, and then there was a lot of where are you from, until I built my hour. No, I was much more famous before I was funny, but I was funny. I could do 10-15 minutes for TV, but but I admitted that. It's my whole thing is people got to admit it. Just admit it, work up to it.
Yeah, that's why I always say, like, even with what I do, I'm an editor by trade, and with interns, I'm like, I can't teach you if you know everything. You know what I mean? Like you have to be willing to learn in order to get better at anything, you know, kind of like how you said, like, hey, you know, I only have 15. I'll admit that. Let me work on the other 15, get a tight half hour and go from there. So I think that's commendable. And that's what all comedians should do, no matter how famous they are ahead of time, you know?
Yeah. And I think that, I don't know, this wasn't even a comic. This wasn't even a comics I was talking about. I was talking like just like a social media company, but now they are calling themselves comedians, some of them. And I'm like, no, you're not. You go out, you do one video, and I'm like, okay, what do I but what do I know? What the fuck do I know? Right? Like money talks and bullshit smells like your upper lip. Like they'll say shut the fuck up. Like, and I agree. People could do whatever they want. I don't care. But it's
Yeah.
just like I just realize how the art of comedy, I feel like it's just weird. You can't do that. You can't go on NBA and you have to make 10 threes to be good. You can't just shred on stage unless you can shred with a guitar. But for somehow comedy, even if people don't get laughs, they'll say, "Oh, fucking crowd suck."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah.
And it's just like, what? Why does it? There's a weird pass.
Yeah, it is weird. And then you could go up on stage once and call yourself a comedian.
Yes.
You know, you can't do that with any other thing.
Trying to be.
Right.
You know, that's okay. I'm trying to be.
Right.
What do I? I'm starting to sound like a fucking old man who yells at the sky. Oh well.
No, man, this is awesome. I did want to talk, like, because now, you know, obviously whenever we approach the Halloween season, you must get hit up a lot because of the Scream movies and all that kind of stuff, and being part of such an iconic horror movie. I mean, Scream is right up there with all the greatest horrors of all time. In fact, it changed slasher horror films.
You should never say who's there. Don't you watch scary movies? It's a death wish. You might as well just come out here to investigate a strange noise or something.
What kind of nostalgia do you get from Scream? Do you watch it every year? Like, what does Scream mean to you?
Dude, I haven't seen it forever, which is crazy. So many people come up to me and tell me they've seen it 100 times. I've maybe seen it twice.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate, you know, but like I saw it. I might see a little clip when it's on MTV or something, but like, you know, I'm so used to it now, and it was a job, and then when you're in your job, what's your next job, and you're trying to stay relevant and all this stuff. It's incredible. Scream is, you know, when the aliens come, it might be the most famous thing I'm known for, and I think it's outgrowing horror. It's a complete iconic piece of pop culture. Ghostface is on bags and shirts, and different people are taking up the LGBTQ community is like loving it.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun.
And then they have like their own version of Ghostface, and now all these young Instagram models have what they call bimbo Ghostface, and they dress up like it's insane. Like, so all these different Ghostface is iconic as Jason. And I'm just lucky that I was part of the OG, and I go to these conventions and people go absolutely crazy. And I'm so lucky, dude. Like, I was even involved in the last movie, even though I wasn't in it. The pictures of it, the directors included me. And
Yeah.
it's just it's incredible. It's never gonna go away, and I think it's just gonna become bigger and bigger. I'm very lucky,
dude. When you're part of a movie like that, like you know, something that comes around every, you know, year or so, you know, with Halloween, it's always, you know, talked about. It's one of the classic horrors. It's almost like having a really great like Christmas movie or something. It's never going to go away.
I thought it was a really original, cool, completely unique idea. Dude, I thought it would make a mark. Did I think I'd be around here in 26 years still talking about it? No. Like, I had no idea. Did I know it was going to spawn off pencil cases and books and cereals? No. You know, it was like, this is how an actor breaks. You break in a horror movie, and then you grow from there, you know? And it's becoming bigger. It's becoming just revered as one of the best movies. Like, it'll go down in the Criteria collection. Like, it's just, people just love it. And it's really great.
And what's cool about that too is every new generation discovers it over again, and they discover you all over again. So it's like this never-ending cycle.
That's what's crazy. It doesn't seem to get old, which keeps me relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem, people they watch parties, they play it at cemeteries. You know, it's wild. It's wild, man. I thought it was great. Did I know it was going to be like this? No.
There he is. I told you. He's right around the corner.
Do you still remember the 3 rules to survive a horror movie?
Yes. Would you like them?
Yes, that would be awesome.
You can't have sex. Sex equals death. You can't drink or do drugs. And never say, "I'll be right back," because you won't be back.
I'll be right back. Well, I appreciate you, Jamie. Where can people find you and follow you and all that stuff before I let you go? And then
you can just go to my website to see all my tour dates, jamiekennedy.com, my Instagram, the Jamie Kennedy, Facebook, Jamie Kennedy, Twitter, Jamie Kennedy. But usually I put a lot of stuff in there. My TikTok, however long that lasts. But yeah, man, I'm trying to go on the road as much as I can before, who knows what's going to happen. And just keep pushing, keep entertaining the peeps and hopefully connecting with like-minded individuals,
Yes, indeed, my friend. Well, keep on doing what you're doing, bro. I'm a huge fan, and you rock, man. So just keep it going, buddy.
Dude, thank you so much for having me, brother.